Right, okay guys, so we're going to do some revision for the first two tasks on the homework, so that's 1.1 and 1.2. We're going to do expanding a single bracket. Now I wrote the first one in. All you do is you multiply everything inside the bracket by the number on the outside. So 4 multiplied by 3x gave us 12x, and 4 multiplied by 8 gave us 32, so it was 12x plus 32. If we look at the second one, you do 5 times by 2x, well 5 2s are 10, so that's 10x. And then 5 times by minus 7. Well, a positive number times by a negative is going to give me a negative number. And then 5 times 7 is 35. Last one, if there's a letter outside, just be careful. When you multiply something by itself, it becomes a squared term. So x times x gives me x squared. And then you've got x times 8 is 8x. And this one works exactly the same. If that was a minus there, that would be a minus 8x there. Okay, now these might not match exactly to the homework setup, but it does have examples of all the different types of questions. So factorising a single bracket, that means when it says factorise, it means it's going to put it back into brackets. So if I look at this one, what I'm looking for is the biggest number that goes into both 20 and 12. The biggest number that goes into both is 4. So I can put a 4 outside the brackets. There's not a letter the same in both, so that is everything that goes outside of the brackets. Then you say, what do I multiply 4 by to get 20x? Well, 4 times 5 would get me 20, so 4 times 5x would get me 20x. And then what do I multiply 4 by to get me 12? Well, I multiply by 3. Okay, next one. Biggest number I can divide both 10 and 15 by is 5. There's not, again, a letter the same in both, so there's nothing else that goes outside. What do I multiply 5 by to get 10x? Well, that's 2x. And what do I multiply 5 by to get 15y? Well, that's 3y. Again, works exactly the same. If these are minuses in the middle, these would be minuses in the middle. Okay? Right, simplifying an expression. This can either be done with highlighters or just simply circling terms that have the same letters in. So if I look at this first one, I've got 7x, and then the sign goes with the term after it, so I've got plus 9x. So if I just look at the x terms, 7x add 9x gives me 16x, and then I've got a positive 8 and a positive 4. So I've got 8 plus another 4 is 12 to positive 12, so I just put plus 12. Okay, if I look at the next one, I've got 9a and a minus 3a this time. So 9a take away 3a is 6a. And then I start at a positive 4b and I add on another 7b. So 4 add 7 is going to give me 11b. And that's it. It can't get any simpler than that because it's got different letters in. Right. If we then move on to if you're expanding in a double bracket. Now, a double bracket is easiest done with a noughts and crosses grid. Okay, there's a good chance of you not making any mistakes, not missing any terms if you use the grid. Okay, if you're happy with foil, stick with foil that you learnt at GCSE. So, first bracket goes along the top, x and a positive 7. Second bracket goes down the side, x and a positive 5. So if we multiply these out, x times x gives me x squared. X times 7 gives me 7x. X times 5 gives me 5x. And 7 times 5 gives me 35. That means the x squared term will stay as an x squared. These two here both have an x in them. So 7x add another 5x is going to give us 12x. And then I've got a positive 35 at the end. That's my answer. There should be 3 terms when you expand a double bracket. Okay, if I look at the next one, same idea again. You're going to set up a noughts and crosses grid. You just need to be careful with the minus signs. Now, if you're feeling pretty confident about this, pause the video, give it a go, and then play to make sure that you got the right answers. So, across the top, x and an 8. Down the side, x, and this time a minus 3. So, x times x is x squared. Sorry about the things moving, tables not more solid. X times 8 is 8x. And then for this one, x times by minus 3 would make it minus 3x. Okay, be very careful with that. And then 8 times minus 3, well, a positive number times a negative is a negative. 8 times 3 is 24. So you end up with x squared is the only squared term. Again, these two both have an x in them. So 8x take away 3x is 5x. Because it's a positive 5x, we put plus 5x. And then I've got minus 24 at the end. Okay, again, you've got 3 terms in your answer. And then just to show the last one, what happens when they're both negative, you've got x and a minus 9, x and a minus 2. So x times x is x squared. X times 1 minus 9 is minus 9x. Sorry, just not the camera again. X times minus 2 is minus 2x. Minus 2 times minus 9, well, a negative times negatives are positive. 2 9s are 18. So you end up with the x squared stays as an x squared. Minus 9x, take away another 2x, is going to make it minus 11x. And then you've got a positive 18 at the end. Okay. Substitution ones. All you're doing is you're replacing x with whatever value you've got. So if I want to find y, well, I'm obviously looking for y, so that's going to stay as it is. Instead of 4x, it's going to be 4 times 2, and then we take away 3. Following BIDMAS, 4 times 2 gives me 8. 8 take away 3 gives me 5. That's it. My y value is 5. If I look at the next one, same idea. You get y equals 3 times minus 5, and then take away 2. So positive times a negative is a negative. So I'd get minus, and 3 times 5 is 15. And then I still need to take this 2 away. So minus 15, take away another 2. I end up with minus 17. Okay, so just be careful with your substitution on those ones. If this comes up on a calculator paper, you can just type that line there in. 3 times minus 5, take away 2, and the calculator will deal with it for you. Right, last ones is I'm going to do an example of each of the worded problems that I've put on the end of these first 2 tasks. So for this one, where it says Bill is 7 years older than Alex, Chloe is twice as old as Bill, the sum of their ages is 57. Now in both sentences, they mention Bill. So I'm going to use Bill as my letter that runs all the way through. I'm just going to use a B to represent Bill. Okay, so Alex then. Well, if Bill is 7 years older than Alex, then actually Alex is 7 years younger than Bill. So Alex is Bill's age minus 7. Now I've done it that way. I know it goes against the way that the question itself is given, but it's because I want to keep everything in terms of B. Okay, and then Chloe, it says, is twice as old as Bill, so Chloe is 2 lots of Bill's age. But it now means I've got all 3 people using the letter B. And it says the sum of their ages, which is to add it all up, is 57. So I know if I add these 3 things here together, I should get 57. So B plus 2B gives me 4B altogether. I've still got the minus 7. And it has to equal 57. You've then just got an equation that we solve. So lines down the side. To get rid of minus 7, we add 7. So I get 4B equals 64. And then to get rid of the 4, we're going to divide. So B equals 16. So I know Bill is 16 years old. Now that I've got Bill's, Alex is 7 years younger. So 16 subtract 7 gives me 9. And Chloe is twice Bill's age. So 2 lots of 16 is 32. So that's it. That's my answer. Bill is 16. Alex is 9. Chloe is 32. Right, and the second worded problem I've given has a bit of perimeter involved. So we want to find an expression for the perimeter. So this just means I want something in terms of A that tells me the perimeter of this shape. And then afterwards, they've told us what the perimeter actually is as a number. We want to use that to find our value of A. So the expression, first of all, well, because this is a rectangle, this side and this side are both the same length. This side and this side are both the same length, which means I can also call this side 3A, same as the one on the right, and I can call the bottom 5A plus 1, same as the one on the top. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a corner to start from, just so that I make sure I don't miss any of the values out. Perimeter is the measurement all the way around the outside. So I've got, if I ignore the ones for a minute, 5A plus 3A gives me 8A, plus another 5a is going to give me 13a, plus another 3a is going to give me 16a. And then I've got a 1 on there. There's no number to add to it there. There's a 1 there, so that's 2, and there's nothing there. So it's 16a plus 2. That's it. That's my expression for the perimeter. Okay, it just means something in terms of a letter when we're talking about an expression. Right, given that the perimeter is 50, find the value of a. Well, if I know that the perimeter is 16a, add 2. I also know that the perimeter is 50, then those two things have to be equal to each other. Which means lines down the side, and we're just going to solve. To get rid of the add 2, we subtract 2. So 16a equals 48. And then to get rid of the 16, we divide by 16. A equals 3. And that's it, because it's all in centimetres. A is 3 centimetres. Right, any problems, guys, let us know.